Okay guys, so in this video we're going to be doing a diagnose when driving type video. I'm going to be showing you what's involved in trying to diagnose and pinpoint a problem down as you are doing the test drive in a vehicle. Been asked to do this video before, and it highlights the checks that we do as mechanics and technicians to try and pinpoint the fault down before we bring it back into the workshop. So this particular vehicle has got a noise when braking that the customer described. He was unsure if it was the front or the rear, and he said it has got progressively worse over the last period of time. I asked for more information. That is all that he could give me, and I am going to go through the different processes now that I do when I'm doing a test drive. So first of all, we want to see if the noise happens at different speed intervals without braking. And as I'm driving away there, I'm not hearing anything in particular. It's pretty normal at the minute, but we're going up for our first braking, so we should hear it now. Yeah, and we get a type of a squeak and a bit of movement from the front of the vehicle. There is a noise from and it also is present when we're turning, so there's a little bit of noise when turning as well, and I was turning to the right there. Let's see if the same noise happens when you're turning to the left. Now, when you're chasing down any of these noises, you want to get all the symptoms you can. So does it happen at certain speeds? Does it happen when braking? Does it happen when turning? Does it happen when you're accelerating, decelerating? All of them items will give you good information so you can bring it into the workshop and pinpoint it down. I'm hearing that noise, yeah, left hand front. It definitely is coming from the left hand front. It happens when you're turning left, it happens when you're turning right, and it happens when you're braking. So that gives me a very clear indication of what this problem is already. I'm going to bring it over here, and I'm going to do the check you would do when checking for CV joints if you have cracking. But the fact that, all right, here we go. So the customer described the noise happening when braking, but you don't have to brake for this noise to happen. All you have to do is shift the load from the left to the right. Yeah. Alright guys, so what do you think that problem is? We have a noise coming when we're braking, not when we are accelerating. We also have it when we're doing a turning circle, and anything that has the potential to move the load off and on the wheel causes the noise, and it is from the left hand front. So with that, I'm heading back to the workshop now, and we're going to put this up in the air, and we're going to take the weight off the front end, and we're going to check what that noise is. If you think you have an idea what it is, post down in the comment section below. So the checks I'm doing now is just reconfirming what I've felt on the road test. With the load still on the vehicle, I rock the wheel back and over so I can hear the squeak again. Just reconfirm that it is that wheel. I do the same on the other side before I jack it up in the air. With it up in the air, you get even more evidence that it is in, but what I'm doing here is trying to pinpoint down exactly what it is. I am pretty certain that it is the wheel bearing, but I need to double check that there's no other movement anywhere else. So I whip the wheel off here, and then I have a closer look in at the brake disc and just look at the drive shaft coming in and make sure that there's no other components loose, like a cradle, like a brake pad, like a drive shaft movement, anything like that. So that's what I'm checking. I'm also checking the hub, make sure there's no movement on the shock.
So I'm happy enough that I have detected it. So now I go about stripping down the wheel bearing, and that starts by taking off the brake cradle and getting it out into the bench.
You can see there the rock. I'm just hoping that there's no damage on the shaft of this part here when we take it out. Sometimes when they get really bad, they can start to wear into that.
So I hammer the hub out of position, and then I visibly inspect it to see. There's a lot of grease on it, so I put it in the vise and I go about cleaning it up to have a better look at it. There's some visible markings on the outer edge, which looks like it is quite badly worn, but to be certain of that, I need to take off the inner collar, and I do that by I get my 3.5 inch cut-off grinder, and I make an X shape on it there. As you can see, I don't go all the way through, I only go 3/4 of the way through, but this allows a good amount of a groove, so I can just chisel it off and then work my way on the inside. A lot of the times the outer part of that just breaks away, and it makes for easy removal, like so. The next thing I'm doing is just removing the new hub from the bag, and with the old one side by side, you can easily see how much one is worn compared to the other, but I just want to be certain that it is the correct part. So just line it up against it, and that looks absolutely fine. I also want to check the stud pattern and make sure that that is correct as well. So just turning it around and lining that up. And then I'll just check the front side as well and make sure that and everything looks good. I then go about fitting the new wheel bearing, and this is just me pressing in the last part of it there in the bearing press. Afterwards, I'm gonna get the snap ring, the new circlip pliers I have here, and pop it in. This is a Nipex one that I got, a 4-piece kit. Very, very nice tool. I will put the link in the description for anybody that wants to check out those Nipex pliers. Now I have that all back together. The only thing I have left to do is pop the new hub back into position, and then this all can go back together. So I'm back to the bearing press again, and I am putting it in and doing the last part of the job before I start to fit everything back together. I have the hub in position. I'm putting on the brake disc. I put on a nut on either side just to keep it from moving around. When I'm putting the brakes together, it makes it a little bit easier. And then the rest is just a formality of putting everything back that was removed.
All back together now, bringing it for a road test, making sure that everything is all good and fixed on this vehicle. So if you remember from the original one, we had a noise when braking, a noise when turning left, a noise when turning right. There was lots of movement on the wheel hub and wheel bearing. Both have been rectified now. I suspect that the wheel bearing failed, wasn't done in time, and the hub failed after that. And we have absolutely no noise so far, so this job is looking good. I'm just going to bring it up to the same location and do the left and right hand full locks. Once I have that done, I will be happy enough to bring this back and call the customer that it's complete. First we're going to turn right, full lock, shift the load, perfect, and lastly we're going to do a full lock to the left. So this job is now complete, everything is rectified, the noises are all gone, the movement is gone, and the vehicle is ready to go home. I hope you enjoyed this video, I hope you found it useful. If you did, please like, share, comment and subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.